Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back. So today I'm going to go over something that I've been working on, which is a futures and scalping strategy off the 1 minute chart. This is great for futures traders or scalpers if you're going to scalp SPY, QQQ, or you're going to trade futures. Um, you really it's tough to trade off the longer charts, like even the 5 minute chart can be tough to trade even with the minis or the micros, I'm sorry. Um, so I wanted to get a strategy out there for the with the indicator that produced similar results. I think I came up with a decent setup. Now this may change. This is kind of the first one I'm putting out there, so we'll test it um, and see how it goes, and we will adjust from there, just like we did on all the other indicators. Um, so very real quickly, so we have the infinity indicator, obviously, right? Why am I so dark? By the way, like and subscribe to the channel. Like the content, like the video. Helps the channel a lot, and it'd mean a lot to me if you support the channel. It's simple as that. Like, subscribe, comment. Stuff goes a long way. So, um, getting back to it. Couple things. Obviously, we're only going to use the infinity indicator. However, I'm going to also show you some other indicators that I use if you're using a premium version of TradingView that you may want to add as secondary indicators to kind of give you better direction. Actually, this trade is kind of a perfect example right here. Um, so, First, let's start off with the infinity indicator, since the whole premise of this is so you don't need to use any of these indicators, right? So I'm going to collapse our wave trend. I'm going to collapse our impulse MACD. I'm going to collapse our DVDI, and I'm going to collapse our RSI divergence, because the way I'm selling this product is that you only need to use this one indicator, and you can have success doing so. That being said, I'll show you at the end of the video how adding something like the um, impulse MACD or the wave trend, uh, or definitely the RSI divergence indicator, how that can help, um, help help you find even more direction on top of the indicator. But let's just start out with the indicator, and I'll show you kind of how that works and the results I've gotten with this setup. Okay. Same thing. You're going to go to the infinity indicator here, and you're going to. I'm going to go kind of right down the line. Okay. So the only boxes you should have checked. Okay, and again, this is on the 1 minute chart. You're going to want that for either SPY or ES if you're trading futures, SPY if you're trading SPY options. Um, so go ahead, but you're going to want the 1 minute chart pulled up, either for SPY or for ES or MES, whatever it may be. Okay. Um, the boxes I want you to have checked, going right down the line, the only boxes I want you to have checked are repeat signals, use MACD filter, higher time frame. For now, I want you to check this and select 3 minutes. Okay, and this is optional. You can turn this off if you want to. And then these are both optional as well. Color bars, show trend line are both optional as well. That's kind of up to you if you want those on. Um, if you scroll up just a little bit from the color bars, you'll see ATR period, ATR multiplier. For ATR multiplier, I want you to put 1.25 in there. Okay, that's going to be a quick. It's a pretty quick multiplier, but we are running off the 1 minute chart. So, and then again, if you want this, I'll show you the differences between whether you have higher time frame checked on or off, or what you want to do. MACD again should be checked. And then all these should be unchecked except for repeat signals. I want you to have repeat signals on, okay? The repeat signals are really solid, and I don't think you necessarily have to sit around and wait for a fresh signal. You can get in and make some money off these repeat signals. And again, I will show you that, okay? So, so now you're set up, okay? So go ahead, click OK. And I'm just gonna pause the video. Well, before I do that, make sure you click save. Okay. Now your indicator is saved. You may want to name it, rename it. I named mine Future Scalp Setup. Okay, and again, you're gonna want to use the 1 minute chart. You can play around with some other charts as well. That's up to you, but just keep in mind you may need to change those settings. All right. So, going back to, again, we're going to ignore all these other things. The smoother here, we're just going to focus on the infinity indicator, okay? So let's look at these signals. So it looks like this, our last signal here. And again, I'm going to show you how those other tools, we can use those to avoid plays like this, okay? But that's obviously a loss as it's going in the other direction. We had a nice win before that. That was probably some type of loss. Win there, win there, win there, win there, win there, win there, win there. I'd probably call that a loss. Actually, you probably made money on that one, but I'm not gonna. I'm just kind of running through it just to kind of show you win there, 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 win there. Lost there, and again, if you follow my videos, where are our losses, or where are we? Where's the indicator quote unquote failing, or where's its weakness? And that is definitely when the market goes sideways or it pivots. Okay, so what's a pivot? When it's going in one direction. Here you're in an uptrend, right? Let me do this. Here you're in a small uptrend, right? Okay, and then we pivot to the other way. So you have your win here, win here, win here, and then the loss on the pivot one, and just, we pivot to the downside. And then you have a win there, win there, win there, win there, and then we pivot. I mean, that it's not always a loss to pivot, but that's where the weakness is, if that makes sense. And then back to win, win, win. So you didn't get a loss there, but as we pivot, that's kind of where the weakness is in the indicator. All right, and I'm going to show you some ways. So please stay tuned to the end of the video. I'm going to show you some other indicators, because even if you're using the infinity indicator and you have a free account, you still get one other indicator to use. So you may like one of these that kind of that you can use in combination with the infinity indicator. Even if you have a free account, you do get two indicators. So as you can see, it's a really solid tool, and with futures, you don't need these huge moves. Okay, you're not looking for these big moves. You're looking for Really some nice small like this is a decent win rate here. There's a loss. What did I say when it pivots? Right. Okay, that's a decent win right there. That's a little decent win right there. Okay, so futures is uh, it's higher risk, obviously. I mean, but there's a lot of opportunity. So I'll just kind of leave it at that. And something I just want to add: you don't have to trade the ES if that's too much money. To trade the micros, trade the MES. Okay, and it's much less leverage. Uh, so what is it? A tenth of the leverage, I believe. So it gives you a little bit more freedom on these plays, to whereas let me try and think of or find a play that would apply. Um, Sell signal there, yeah, buy signal. Uh, that's good. But anyways, it gives you. I can't find something to pick out where it's like, oh, that's what I'm talking about. I'll have to find something later, but um, but as you can see, these plays look really solid, and I'll do some live trades here probably tomorrow, maybe later. We'll see how I'm feeling with the futures, and kind of show you, how it works in real time. So stay tuned for the second video for that. Okay. But I think I've kind of demonstrated that this thing is pretty solid just by itself. Um, Now, that being said, okay, let's move into some other indicators we can use um, that share that you can use with the infinity indicator to kind of show to help find direction. Okay, so the first one, and my head's always in the way on this fucking thing. The first one we're going to look at is the RSI divergence indicator. Okay, so let's pull that up here, and let's see. Let's kind of go back to where we were at on that last trade. We went back a pretty decent amount, so I would say this is definitely up there in that 80% win rate range. But here, okay, this is probably the biggest loss I've seen here. So, what would be a sign for us to not get in this play? Okay, well, the RSI indicator. All right. So as you can see here, the RSI is it's oversold. So now you can see it's bounced back to overbought. You got the buy indicator here, right? And so the RSI indicator can be a way for you um, to help see the direction. Okay. The problem with too many indicators is this: sometimes you're going to see things and it's going to invalidate the other things you're seeing. So, for example, I've just shown you that this indicator is very solid on its own in terms of the infinity indicator, right? So let's say that we see, like, here is an option. Trying to look. Okay, here. See, here's another instance where this would do its job, right? Because it's not quite at overbought here, but it's at like 68 or 69. So it's pretty much at overbought. Okay, so, and this was a loser. This is a losing play right here. I would call this a losing play. All right, you got the buy signal. It didn't go up much, and you got a sell signal. That's a loss. All right, very clear loss to me. Okay, so an indication of why wouldn't I play this, is the RSI is close to overbought. Okay, same thing over here with this sell signal, right? Look where it's at. It's at over. It's at. Sorry, I'm dyslexic, so I get these mixed up. It's at oversold now. So it went from overbought to oversold, and we got another losing signal here. Okay, now this signal here wasn't quite at overbought. It was at like, the 50s, mid 50s. Okay, so that was a play that you would feel more comfortable getting into. And as you can see, you had a nice win there on the buy signal. Okay, um, here's a sell signal here that worked out, right? Same thing. You're in that mid range. You're not at the extreme or near the extreme, but you're in that mid range. Now, I really like the RSI divergence indicator so much that I've tried to integrate it into um, our indicator, and it may be something we integrate in the future. It's just been tough to get to play nicely. So um, let's find another instance in where it was an over or a different situation here. Um, there's no signal here. This one worked out. See, this is the and, and this is the flip side to this, okay? Because if this was perfect, we would all use it. You know what I mean? And nobody would ever make or lose money, right? Um, so here, the RSI is clearly overbought. You even have bearish divergence here, um, and it does start to even tick down a little bit. But what's the stock price doing? Well, it's going up the entire time. Okay, so sometimes when you integrate too many indicators, it can create confusion and conflicting things. So, but when one thing is clear: when the RSI is at extremes, that's generally something to be observant about. Okay. RSI is oversold here. Got the sell signal. Um, and you're able to likely make some money on that play. Trying to find another instance here. So, is there another overbought situation? Here, it's kind of this, kind of the same thing, right? This isn't the best play here. Is it a losing play? Doesn't look like it, but it's not a great play. And the RSI is where it's in the over or near the overbought situation. So, um, yeah. So that's your RSI divergence indicator. That's an indicator. That's one of the ones that I really like. So let me another indicator I like that is I'm not super familiar with, but I'm going to show you how I use it. So if I'm using it wrong and somebody knows better, by all means, educate me. But the way I see it and the way I use it is, it's a visual aid, and you can see where, basically where the market turns, right? Okay, and for me, it's a very visual thing. All right, so when it's going gold, that's a very good thing. When it starts to turn purple, and especially that deep purple, so from gold to look at the market is pivoting here. Okay, right? Sorry, these indicators are kind of in the way. Let me fix that a little bit, right? So it's pivoting a bit, right? And then as you can see, as it starts to turn back up, that's when you get that goldish it flips back from purple to that goldish color. Okay, and you know, obviously when it's in that gold, right, that goldish area, it's trending upwards. Okay, same thing when it flips back over to purple. Again, a very visual thing. That's something to be concerned about, or to go short with. And that is called the um, PhiSmoother. Okay, PhiSmoother, one word, by Chart Prime. Okay, it's a free indicator that you can use. So check it out. Let's turn that off for now to avoid confusion. And let's turn the RSI divergence off to avoid confusion. And let's turn on, let's see what's behind door number Impulse MACD. Okay, so this indicator right here, is our Impulse MACD indicator. Okay, so many of you are probably familiar with the regular MACD, moving average convergence divergence. The Impulse MACD can be used in the same way. I use it a little bit differently. So the Impulse MACD, to me, obviously you still have, right, your areas where you have your crosses where you cross here as a bearish thing, right? So here, let me do this, right? Okay. So you have your crosses, right? So when we cross from, this is your midline, right? Okay, kind of the center here. So under this, when it's coming this way, that's bearish, and when it crosses here, that's a bearish cross. Okay, I mean, I guess technically it's not, but when I'm reading this Impulse MACD, it is. Okay, so when it's trending down like this, you'll see the price action generally trends down too, and when it crosses under here, from positive to negative, that's something to look out for more downward price action. Okay, so that can be something to watch out for. All right. So how would you be careful of something like that? Okay. So here, let's look at it. Right. So as we're kind of peaking here, and we start to turn and go bearish, what happens to the price action? All right. Let's look at it, and you can follow my dotted line right here. You'll see it. It goes up. Um, Vertically here, you'll see the dotted line, and it'll line up at where it's at with the price action here. And you can see where it is on the MACD, right? So what happens as it starts to go down? That line starts to trend down. What's happening to the price? The price is dropping, okay? And then the same thing when it clears, or when it starts to bottom out and curve the other way. What happens to the price action? It starts to turn up in general. Okay. And you can see, and then when it crosses here, that's a bullish thing. The price action generally, goes up. And so on and so forth. So that's one thing I can get from the Impulse MACD. Another thing I can get from the Impulse MACD is I use it as a sideways indicator. Okay, so this is what I mean. And this works great for scalping and on the 1 minute chart. On a lot of the other charts, I don't see a ton of it. Okay. It's there. Don't get me wrong. It's something you can look for on other charts, and it means the same thing. Um, that there's sideways price action. Okay, look where it's flat, right? What's the price action? What's the price doing? It's just kind of going up and down and up and down. It's going sideways, right? And you have this little, maybe this little blip right here, right? But in general, during this time, the price action is going sideways. Okay, so let's go back and let's look back over here. Right, here's another flat spot, right? So what do we see with the price action? Well, it's pretty much going sideways. Yes, again, you have this little blip action here, which was, by the way, this was during the Fed meeting, so you can just throw that out the window. Um, but as you can see, sideways price action during the Fed day. Shocker, right? So when you have that, it's sideways price action. Okay. Now I want you to. I'm going to teach you one more thing that I've found, but I want you to like and subscribe to the channel and like the video before I give it to you, because I'm giving you some good shit right here. Okay. So something that I noticed is that generally when you come out of a flat spot, you're coming out in a bullish way. Okay. So when this pops from a flat area, okay, so right here it's flat, right? Where does it go? All right. It's going bullish. Okay. You can't really see the price action here, but okay. So it's flat here, right? Which way is it going up? Boom, it goes up. Okay, let's look at the next flat spot. Here's another one, okay? Small flat spot. Which way does it break? It breaks up. Okay, it breaks bullish. Here's another one. Which way does it break? It breaks up. That's 3 in a row. Here's another one. That's 4. Okay. Here's another one. That's 5. Now it's not perfect, but here's another one. 6 in a row. Okay, and here's a small one. You may want to consider that one, but it does break to the downside there. But here we go again, right? Boom, flat spot breaks to the upside. Flat spot breaks to the upside. Flat spot breaks to the upside. All right. So generally, it's going to break after a small I can never say this, consolidation period. It's going to break, and it's going to break to the upside. Okay, that's how many has that been now, where you're breaking to the upside. Okay, so that's just something. Oh, look, there's one to the downside, upside. There's another one to the downside. How about that? That's kind of down too. That's kind of down too. Yeah, that kind of broke down before it went up. Breaks to the upside. Yeah, it kind of broke down, broke up, broke up, broke up, broke up, broke up. So that broke down, broke up. Yeah, that's not really one. Broke down, broke up, broke down, broke down, broke up, broke down. So I would say about 2/3 of the time it's going to break to the upside. Broke down. So it's just something to keep in mind. And obviously, whichever way it breaks, that's the way you would play it, right? So if it's breaking here, let me go back. Let me find it. Here's one. If it's breaking to the downside, obviously you're not going to play calls, right? So you would look to play puts. So let me find this price action here. Okay. So here, again, we're flat, right? So then whichever way it breaks, it does seem to break more often than not, it breaks to the upside. But when it breaks to the downside, obviously you're going to go bullish when it breaks to the upside. When it breaks to the downside, that's when you're going to short it. Okay, so see how it broke to the downside, boom, you short it. Okay, where's that other one? So it breaks to the upside, right? You're going to go bullish. Okay. Um, find another flat spot. Here's another one. Here's your flat spot here, right? And then it breaks to the downside. You're going to short it. Okay. And so follow that. If you follow that logic, and you basically go with whichever way it breaks, more often than not, you're going to have success. All right. So that's the impulse MACD indicator. All right. I think that sums it up for that one. And what else do we have left? Wave trend. So let's collapse this one. Which one is my wave trend here? Okay, wave trend. So wave trend, very simple to use, at least the way I use it. Okay, there are other ways to use it. With wave trend, I would probably use this with another indicator if you can. By the way, Alex, if you're not following in the Discord, one of our members, Alex, has posted an awesome strategy on the 1 minute chart for wave trend. I highly suggest you check it out. And again, the Discord, you are able to access some of those channels for free. So the wave trend. So the way I use wave trend, and again, I'm no expert. See Alex for that. But I use it almost like the RSI indicator, or so. The reason I don't like using this with other by itself, like, so I would use this probably like with something like the RSI. Okay, so let's pull up. Let's see if I can pull up the RSI divergence indicator. One of these, right? There it is. Okay. So the reason I like, so it's very simple, right? And sorry, I have to do this 1 minute chart. Still getting used to that. So again, kind of the same thing. When you're at extremes here, is when you're looking to enter into position. So for instance, here we're at um, we're at extremes here, right? Our RSI divergence is at extremes, all right, and we have bullish divergence, and then on top of that, we get our buy signal, and then we can enter calls. So, and again, even if you weren't using the infinity indicator and you wanted to use just these two indicators, being that they're both at extremes, that would be something that you could go long with. Okay, so again, call entry would be somewhere around here. All right, and obviously it's a nice play, right? And then kind of the opposite on the bearish, or yeah, on the short side. So you would wait until you were um, uh, oversold here on RSI divergence. You have bearish divergence, and we're at extremes. And there is a nice short play here, as you can ride it down from 368 area to the 365 area and make a few $100. Um, Now, the reason I like, obviously, I'm a little biased, right? But I like having my indicator there as a primary indicator, and then using this as a secondary indicator. So, yes, it was a winning play. Was it a great play? No, it was nothing to write home about. It was a good, solid play. Um, but if you look at, let me find a instance where, okay, let's look where we're at extremes and have the sell signal. Um, kind of here, right? We're at extremes here, right? Where we're at extremes on both the RSI and the um, wave trend indicator. However, we don't yet have the sell signal. So as soon as we get that sell signal, though, boom, we're in business, right? And you can ride that short down. So that's why I like having my indicator, the infinity indicator, as a primary indicator, and then one of these or two or multiple, whatever floats your boat, as secondary type indicators. So I've showed you the MACD, or I'm sorry, the impulse MACD, the RSI divergence indicator, and the wave trend indicator, as well as the PhiSmoother by Chart Prime. That's the colorful one, which I do like. It's a cool visual indicator that can help add some just be another visual aid. So again, that's really all I got. Please, if you like the content, you find the stuff useful, like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Which indicator do you like? Which indicator looks most exciting to you? What are some indicators that you use that you think might play well with our indicator? And like and subscribe. Leave a comment, and I'll keep pushing out the content. So appreciate you guys watching, and have a good day.